Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you all to another episode of the Black Market Podcast, presented by Hack the Markets. I am one of your co-hosts, AC, also known as the Market Oracle.
What's going on, everybody? Got Raheem the Drain here. Let's get it, man. We got another week. Another week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As they say, a volatile week.
Very volatile week. Oh, I'm with you, man. Hey,
ah,
one thing I ain't checked on is the VIX. Have you checked on the VIX?
yeah, it's starting to fall down at
Oh,
the
it's
end of
starting
the
to fall
session
now.
today. Yep. So today it started to fall down at the end of the sessions.
Oh,
So
okay. Hey, that's good signs then, man. I mean, we might start seeing some bullish activity.
it's basically been like consolidating at a resistance area and just been sitting there for a while.
Okay. Yeah, that's not
Uh,
bad.
Another thing in regards to that bullish market, man, we also been seeing them oil, the U.S. oil per gallon
Man,
has been coming down.
so how long have we been talking about oil on this show? We talked about oil for at least 3 weeks now, 4 weeks now.
Yep.
So that was like prime time to get in on this move. Like we
Mhm.
didn't tell you too late. Some of the stuff did move a little early. Now we did tell our people inside the chat a lot earlier than we did on the podcast. But at the same time, it wasn't like you couldn't have made money if you was listening to the podcast and you got in on some of those plays that we were throwing out. And don't
Right.
forget them defense stocks either.
Facts. That
I
Boeing,
heard,
Boeing is really prime in the right place.
hey, now this is what I heard, and I was doing a little research, and excellent play, I feel. Um, but you have to have a broker that gives you access to international stocks. But
Mm,
UK banks, British banks, will be
yeah.
a very good play because the Bank of England is already increasing the rates over there, and they increased back in January, so they're already ahead of us. So,
Yeah.
we're kind of playing catch up over here right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, we've had some other things that pretty much gave us the boost we needed without having to increase these rates.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and see, like all this data is just supporting it to make us have to get more interest rates now, higher
Yeah.
interest
What
rates. I
we
mean,
got next week? Next week it going down, baby.
oh yeah, they
It
definitely
going
come
down
into the
next
market, and
week.
then that's when we're gonna see. I mean, we've seen a nice pullback already, but I feel like we do have a little bit more room to the downside to go, and I think that's what's gonna push it to that bottom that I'm projecting. I
That
think
first,
that's what's gonna push us down into that area.
is this gonna be the first one of the year?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be the first one that we've had in years now because we've been going down. We haven't had a rate hike in, man, I can't remember how long.
Man, they said that they are maybe talking about 6 or 7 now.
Yeah, because the inflation is so crazy. And then you got the risk of hyperinflation over in Russia. So like Russia, their central bank just raised their interest rates the other day. Probably I think like last week. They went from 9.5% to 20%.
Hmm.
So they raised the rates all the way up to 20%. So that means like the interest rates are ridiculous over there. But the thing is they're setting up because they know that hyperinflation is coming in. And that's what's going to kind of like tear their economy to pieces in a sense because they're projecting that their economy is going to do worse than the collapse of the Soviet Union back in the 90s.
Mm.
So they're saying like it's going to be even worse than that. They were already projecting like a 5.8% move like
Hmm.
contraction or something in their GDP. Now they're looking at like an 11%.
Wow.
And I mean, it's just getting terrible. Hyperinflation is definitely coming. A lot of people have pooled resources. We've stopped. The U.S. has stopped importing Russian oil. You had Shell. They had a report that came out that they had bought like a large amount, very large amount of premium oil from Russia for a very steep discount. And right after that transaction, it's like maybe 2 or 3 days later, they come out and they say that they're not buying any more Russian oil anymore. And that was before Biden came out and put a ban on it. So it's definitely something else.
Yeah, that rubble officially crumbled all the way down
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
I think it's pretty much worth the list, like all the way, like null existence now. Like
yeah,
these guys,
yeah. The ruble, Russian ruble, that is, yeah, it's not looking good, man. And that's all I can say. Like, is very very bad for the Russian economy right now. I'll say that. Like, I really don't understand why he's still going on with the military games that he's playing, or the special operation is what he called it. Whatever that is, like he really should think about, just kind of like just saying, we're done. Because I mean, if you don't, your country is done. So it's like you either done with this or your country gonna be done, because no one in Russia is gonna support a guy that just tanked the economy and made everybody have to pay like crazy amounts for everything because hyperinflation came in. Screw inflation. We're seeing inflation and we're crying. Think if we got hit with a 20% increase overnight. We only
mm,
saw like 7.5% and we're over here going crazy.
man. See, that's what I'm wondering. Like, yeah, you know, we got our inflation, our rates coming up too, but we had pretty CPI numbers. They were pretty increased. Like you've been mentioning, inflation. We had that data come out. I think it was Wednesday, and with us having inflation, rate increase, how do you think the market will be able to react to this next week?
To
Do
be
you
honest,
think,
man, I
well,
think the
I
market,
think you said earlier, what you said earlier, it's gonna have to push down some more, right?
yeah,
It's gonna
I
have to
think
do
it's
that.
going to push down a little bit more because I do feel that we do have a little bit more room to the downside. Now the
Mhm.
thing is, a lot of people are gonna sit here and try to capitalize off of this little bull run that we're seeing now. By all
Yeah,
means, capitalize off this bull run. Like, I'm not gonna tell you not to capitalize off something that's going up. If you can see a small momentum, because I mean that's what short term trading is. Like, you're finding those trends and you're getting
mhm.
in and out. Now, if you're investing, um, if you have your portfolio, there's ways that you can kind of like protect it. You can buy some insurance for it. You can collect some money off of it. You can monetize a portfolio very easily. And we could teach you those concepts here. But you could definitely monetize a portfolio and build, build bigger positions and be able to hold on to them for years, not necessarily trying to trade them, but you can still use other instruments to trade them. So you still get the benefit of owning the stock and being able to, like if you want to have that proxy vote and all that stuff, but just having that stock ownership and being able to, if you're getting in on dividends, you're getting that benefit, and then you're getting the benefit of appreciation if it does go up. Because of course you want to buy long term for something that's going to be going up for a long time. So
Right. I give them a little gem, man. On the investing side at these times. Just if you're looking at something, there are still stuff out there, of course, that are going up. That you can invest for long term. Really catch some good deals on right now. But I would just say, just start with some they're not attached to the war, not attached to everything that's going on. Just starting with them would just be a big help, big
yeah.
nice.
And to be honest, man, like if you do want to get into the tech sector, things are coming down. So everything is coming to a level that's getting you into the market. Like, things
Mhm.
were um expensive. At one point it was very expensive. It's pretty much like how the real estate market is now. And you see that market's always correct. So
Mhm.
even with the housing market, I mean, it's gonna correct. Yeah, houses don't go up infinite. They don't just have a straight trajectory up and they never turn around and they never hit a ceiling or anything like that. So, if you're under that impression, then I'll definitely get that out of my mind as soon as possible,
Mhm.
because all it takes is a few more years and another event to happen, and now your home is back down to what it was now, or what it was before the COVID hit, or it could be lower than that. So, I always gotta keep
Markets
that in
do.
mind.
They go up and down and sideways.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people thinking, yeah, the housing market is hot. A lot of people are projecting, all these expensive numbers and new norms and all that stuff. But you have to understand that the people who are paying those prices have to accept those prices. If the majority of people don't accept those prices, there's no way that you can keep those prices inflated like that. You can want to do that all you want to, but if no one's buying it, you're just sitting there with real estate on the books. Like, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, open doors is just gonna have all the houses.
Yeah. And I
All of
mean,
these.
they're going to have them, but then it's like, what are you doing with them? I mean, because a bank doesn't want a house. They want to give you the loan to get the house, but they don't want the house, you know? Like, so when they have to repo it from you, and they don't want a house. They're not in the business of buying homes and selling homes. Like they don't want that. So that's why they have to give those short lists and foreclosures and all that stuff because they don't really want it. So they'll take a steal of a deal and give it to you because we don't want this house. That's not
Right.
our business model.
Exactly. Yeah, banks are debt collectors.
Yeah, that's not their business. So even when it comes to like Zillow and Open Door and Redfin, they're in a sense real estate agents, but you don't want to just have a large inventory of homes and now you just have a large inventory of homes and you can't push them to anyone. What I mean, that's good that you bought up everything, but what are you gonna do with it if no one wants to buy it from you?
Yeah. They just running holding some neighborhoods at hostage at this point.
Exactly. So you can hold them hostage, but if you want to make money and be a business, you're gonna have to sell the home to actually create a profit. Because as of right now, it's like opening up a trade and not closing it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you supposedly made this amount of money on paper, but you haven't closed this transaction yet. So you really don't have that. It's floating.
I'd say one market of houses that you can still expect some nice growth in, and that's in areas where like big cities still,
Yeah.
even growing cities. You know, shout out to the ATL.
Yeah.
Yeah, while other people's rates are coming down, it's a good chance Atlanta rates could still be going up
It could
because
be.
you got the people that's driving this. People are they're yeah, the houses are gonna be expensive, but they're gonna pay for it because they gotta come here because they want to make the money that's here.
Yeah.
So in markets like those are the only ones that I will only see, being able to survive it. But if you're just in Timbuktu, whoever, they ain't buying them houses, like you said. Nobody don't got no reason to go buy them houses. They don't want to move
Exactly.
there. They're
Hey,
like,
but
okay,
look at this too, though. The cost of the home is more expensive. So because of the interest rates going up, like the interest rates of these mortgage rates already went up. They went up back in January or early
mm,
February when the talks was going on about the interest rates rising. So that's been happened.
it's
So
gonna be a
once they raise the rates are probably going to go up again for the mortgages. So the thing is, now think about this. How can you're taking out, so if you had a large amount of people like this that could buy those homes because the interest rates were low, because now these payments are like $400 cheaper.
the amount of
Now you're
people.
taking out
No,
all
the
these
amount of
people.
people is literally this big. It's literally this big because not too many people even still didn't buy houses with those low rates.
Exactly. But now you're taking out people that could afford a $250,000, $300,000 home that you're trying to sell this for. And now only this amount of people can afford that thing. So now
Yeah,
you're definitely not about to get this thing off because at that price that you want, because nobody can afford it, because everybody's been priced out because of the interest rates.
yeah. It's coming to a interesting time where it's almost like You know,
And see, going
the
back to what
grid,
I've been
you know
saying
what I'm saying?
since last year. No, 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 no. I think I talked about this. Yeah, yeah, it was last year. It was like early last year. So it's almost a year since I said this statement. But
Mhm.
what I was saying is the only reason why we're seeing these prices of these homes so expensive was because it was a lot of money being thrown around because the government thought it was a smart idea to just start printing money. So they just started throwing money out. Number
Right.
two, the interest rates were so low that the average man could buy a more expensive home because he could afford it because the interest rates were so low. And then on top of that, you have all these guys that's coming in trying to buy homes, have no idea what's going on, and they're artificially inflating all the prices because they're overbidding on things, and these comps are getting put down. I mean, and so the comp is gonna go put down, and so now that area has a whole nother valuation now because it is one crazy comp. And so now somebody else is gonna come over there and do the same thing, and boom, you got one or two going on, and now the whole area is affected.
Yep.
So
You can
that's
only
a
do like
real reason.
those markets, or you gonna do those in certain markets, like the market where the price is gonna keep going up.
Yeah,
Because if
but
they put them houses in places where people have no reason to move there, move to the city, it's not gonna work.
and to be honest, man, it is a lot of new home construction that I mean, they're not knocking down the doors to buy these homes.
That's that now that is major too. Yeah.
They started pulling back and they started having a lot more inventory back in last year, back in June, July. So that was like
Mhm.
last summer. So last summer, that's the hottest time where you're supposed to be having people buying and you're having a contraction. That right there is already giving signs. And economic things don't just hit the next day. Economic things, once something happens, it takes like 9 to 12 months for you to actually see what really happens once
Mhm.
this happens. The cause and
Mhm.
effect of, these decisions and these situations, you don't see them right then. So a lot of people forget. Lo and behold, boom, 6 to 9 months, 12 months pass. And now they're looking at why is this doing this? Why is this doing that? Because
Right.
everybody got such a short term memory, they don't remember that back then this was going on. And that's why it's
Right.
affecting right now.
Yeah.
So,
It's definitely
yeah,
a lag in those things.
yeah, for sure. Especially when it comes to economic factors. And that's what makes the foreign exchange and things like that trend for weeks and months.
Mhm. Yeah, man. It's a lot of economic news that's gonna be coming in and affecting some stuff here soon.
Oh yeah.
It's, it's been 8,000 things going on.
Oh yeah.
8,000 things going on. You know the only thing I'm looking forward to the hype. It's fine with me. I'm just capitalizing off
Oh yeah, for sure.
of it. It looks like we're getting like commodities to try to slow down a little bit. Gold kind of just hovering at an area. Oil had a nice pullback today.
Okay.
We're not sure, I'm not the person to say that that's the actual turnaround, but it was good to see, the price come off of those highs and, and hope for that. Maybe these are signaling that things could, you know, be
For
way,
sure.
settling out.
Oh yeah.
But who knows, man? We'll figure out what happens with the war in the next few days or what they decide to do.
There's no telling.
I know that they met. Europe and Russia met, and they was like, "No, we're not stopping."
Yeah, I heard like the ceasefire was that wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
And see like that oil that you was just talking about, like one thing for the US is we don't necessarily import a lot of Russian oil. It's really Europe that would get hit the worst if they banned it. Outside of that though, I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably will or try to or
Right.
limit it or something. But for the US, We really don't get a lot of Russian oil. I think we make it what 10% or something like that. It's like very small. So all we have to do is just crank up some shell, crank up some shelling places, or crank up some of these oil rigs, and boom,
Yeah.
we back in the game.
You know what commodities been spiking on just as much, if not more than oil.
Man, I seen nickel.
Yes. Oh my goodness. What?
Nickel is going crazy because you remember a lot of these resources that we need for the batteries is in Ukraine. So
Man,
with
that
that being
nickel.
said, that is why I was liking that Rivian short. And lo and
Hmm.
behold, guess what Rivian does? They come out with very weak results. Cause I was calling this in the chat, so I'll talk about it now because the move has happened.
Right.
Shoot, we done made our money. So what it is when I saw that they had that earnings call and I just seen what was going on with that price action, I was like, oh yeah, this thing is going down because there's
Mhm.
no way it's gonna stay up. And I know they're not gonna have like an excellent return. I mean, an excellent call or anything like that. So let me go ahead and put this short in. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. They come out, they miss on the earnings, they miss on the revenue, and then they come out and say that they're only going to put out like 25,000 cars and trucks next year. This year,
What?
only 25,000 trucks will be produced, and trucks and cars.
Hmm.
So, very, very um dismal numbers compared to what they were thinking. It said reservations for his vehicles had reached about 83,000 as of March 8th, but they can only produce 25,000 cars. So that means that about 60,000 people almost are not going to have cars. Like,
Wow.
that's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
They miss revenue by
You know,
like,
they are, the cars of the future, though. I
yeah.
mean, we have a high demand really yet, or do we?
And then on top of that, the nickel is going up. So that's killing them. So, yeah.
Man,
Supply
speaking of
chain issues, everything is killing Rivian.
speaking of EV, man, I saw a Fisker vehicle for the first time in my life in person.
Oh, the Karma Fisker.
I think it may have been, but it was a sporty looking.
Yeah. Got like long lights or something like that on the back.
Uh,
So man, I seen one of these things back in Birmingham like what 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Didn't know
really?
what it was though because I was like, "What is that car?" And it took me almost a year to find out what that car was because I convinced myself that it could possibly be like a F type because of how I saw it, and it was
Right.
kind of like I was looking at it and I was like, the F type is the only thing that kind of looks similar to this, but that is not that
Right.
car. And then I think it might have been Ray Shrimmer. I think they came out with a song or something that said something about a Karma Fisker. So I was like, what's a Karma Fisker? Let me look at it. I was like, oh man, that's the car that I saw.
Wow.
So that's how I found out what I saw.
So we got little sprinkles of Fisker here and there out here in this world right now for a while. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, it's
clearly
been out here for a while. Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cause to be
Yeah,
honest, I think they had stopped making them and then it came back or something.
yeah, and they don't really have. I think they just got their first facilities built in U.S. like
Okay.
this past few years.
Okay.
So that probably plays a major part too.
Where were you when you saw it?
I was at LA Fitness in Atlanta.
That's hilarious.
I'm just like, hey, you know, more power to them.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Yeah, they say it's not the best electric out there, but I mean it still has a sleek little look to it. So, I mean, like,
Everyone wants a cool car nowadays.
yeah,
Everyone wants
exactly. Why not?
that looks,
And
you know.
even I mean, shoot, with all this stuff that's going on with these EVs, everything is starting to look good now.
Maybe they're hypnotizing us to make us like the style, the new EV style.
Got to.
It's the new
Hey,
look.
did
Yeah.
did you see that Amazon announced a 20-to-1 split?
Hey, I did, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the companies that. Did you see the other companies that are also in line for a stock split?
I didn't. I just saw the Amazon one. But I see they're planning a $10 billion buyback too. So that's gonna be huge.
Yeah,
That's gonna be huge. So you know that's gonna keep the stock up.
yeah. I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell the folks. Just because the price split, don't change the valuations.
No, it doesn't change the valuation.
But historically, when these joints split,
They
it's
run like crazy because people feel like they getting a bang for their buck or something. But the valuation is the same. But they run that valuation so crazy to the point where it's like, dude, like, there's no way that the company is worth this much. And that's why it slams back down to reality like it does and takes all your money.
exactly. I
Same way
mean,
what they did with Tesla, man. They saw
no,
Tesla slip, and I mean split, and they was trying to run it. They were like, "Oh man, we can't believe that Tesla is this cheap because it's split and all this stuff." And man,
they ran that thing.
they ran it. They tried to run it, and that thing
Get
ran
nothing
them.
but freaking money out.
Hey, shook them down, man. I'm telling you, like shook them down, bro. Like
Wow.
they really be thinking like this thing is just like unstoppable, and this thing is just gonna keep going up, and nothing's ever gonna stop Tesla, man. This thing is down so big from where it was.
Yeah.
It broke
Tesla,
all of
Tesla
that
ain't even in
upward
the
momentum.
thousands anymore.
Like this thing is going all the way down to about $600,
Hmm.
probably. I'm giving it about 600. It has a lot of room to the downside to at least 600.
Yeah, but see, this Amazon giant that you're talking about here is another story from the other ones. I feel like Also, you mentioned that buyback that plays a major part. They're telling their employees like, hey, if this is the employee buy time along with the split, why not get in with the employees?
You feel me? Hey, and I ain't gonna lie to you. My pick right now, well, I ain't gonna say that it's just about to fall out the sky, but I do like that Tesla short right now.
Ooh, wow.
Cause that thing dipped down and came back up, and it couldn't break higher, and it looked like it's trying to roll over one more time. I'll go ahead and take this short. I'll be
Yeah.
risky and take this short, man.
He said Tesla go ahead and they doing that thing. It's giving
Yep.
that signal.
I
Okay,
feel like it's
okay.
gonna be over with for him in a second, man.
Said the Tesla train ain't gonna get people rich for the summer, huh?
Nah, not with these interest rates going how they're going too, and then nickel and all that stuff is killing them right now. Like that long term uptrend line, that is gone now. Like that has been breached. It tried to retest it and it rejected it. So guess what? That's
That's
all I
tough.
gotta say. I'm not gonna show it because I'm gonna leave that to our premium people because I'm gonna put this on the website. But best
Right.
believe Tesla going down
Hey, I can see that, man. They gonna go down until we get a lot of stuff figured out that we need to get figured out.
for sure. And when is that gonna happen? We have no idea. So until then, Tesla to the downside.
It seems like it's about to be years. It could be years.
Exactly. You leave out of one thing to go to another. You leave out of COVID to go to a war. And that's really the only reason why people aren't talking about COVID anymore is because they're talking about the war now. Like, what happened to COVID?
Not to say it. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm pretty sure it's still here. It is still here, man.
Yeah,
So I'm just I'd say my pick. I'm still looking. I still got GSAT on the eye. I
okay.
got an eye on GSAT. Earlier I told you all if you all looking for stocks that are gonna grow, you look for some that are not tied to the war, or affected by the war. I wouldn't say tied. because this one could be potentially tied to the war with this communication and satellites. So it could benefit from the war. So that's my spin I got on this company.
I'm with you.
Satellite communications, baby. You know
Yeah.
Russia will start hacking soon. Oh, speaking of that, you see what CrowdStrike did today?
Because I was about to say cybersecurity, man.
Yeah,
Cybersecurity should be up big.
booming,
Yeah,
booming, man. But yeah, that's what I got for him.
I understand. Hey, that's some good stuff though. But what we do want to do is we do want to encourage you guys to head over to hackthemarketstrading.com. You can set yourself up a free account. You can get a little bit of access to a little bit of this stuff that we're talking about. But if you really want like the full blown access, you want access to us, you want like some good trades, you want to make some money, go ahead and sign up for that premium account. Um,
Yes,
Follow us
sir.
on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like the Facebook, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like a couple of our videos and definitely comment. It helps the algorithm out, and we can get our message out a little bit more to a few more people. Definitely tell some friends that you know if they're interested in trading or investing or anything like that, just money management stuff like that. Tell them to check us out. Subscribe to the channel. Anything else you want to add?
Hey, it's been a great trading week, man. I had a field day today and all this volatility.
Oh
I ain't
yeah,
nothing to say. So,
oh yeah,
you know, we'll catch y'all on Monday.
for sure. So we'll see you guys Monday. Hopefully you made some money by then.